Alrighty, guys, we're back for Red Deck Wins, and this is a Final Fantasy Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. This is technically a Seifer Almasy build. It's a 4-mana, 3/4 legendary creature. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. Okay, and then this bottom ability is pretty cool too. Fire Cross. Whenever Seifer Almasy deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. So essentially, if you attack alone with Seifer, gains double strike. If you can get that through twice for combat damage, you can cast instant and sorcery spells, mana value 3 or less, 2 times on that turn without paying their mana cost. That's actually pretty sick. Now, something Seifer's missing is haste, so maybe we can give it haste with a summon. Brynhildr is a 2-mana, 2/1 enchantment creature saga knight. So the first chapter of this saga, exile the top card of your library. During any turn you put a lore counter on this saga, you may play that card. Cool. Now, the next 2 chapters of the saga, when you next cast a creature spell this turn, it gains haste until end of turn. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? Now, another card we wouldn't mind giving haste to, and another new one here, Lightning Security Sergeant. It's a 3-mana 2/3 with Menace. It is a legendary creature, of course. Whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as you control lightning. Cool. So another way to see even more off the top, similar to the top ability on the Brynhildr, right? So we do got some burn packed in. We have all 4 burst lightning, and all 4 lightning strikes, of course, going to pair beautifully with that top end Seifer. But we also have Choco-Comet here. For X and double red, it's sorcery. Deals X damage to any target. Okay. Create a 2/2 green bird creature token with whenever a land you control enters, this token gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So of course X can be 0, and we can just treat this as a 2-mana 2/2 green bird, which honestly isn't that bad, right? But then also, once we actually get some more mana piled up, maybe X can be 3. We also get a little birdie too. This is also one that we can bring back with the Seifer, and again, just have X be 0. So that's pretty cool. All right, some mono red goodness with all 4 Monstrous Rage, of course, making the cut, and we have all 4 Monastery Swiftspear too. We actually have all 4 Greasewrench Goblins as well. It's a 1-mana 2/1 that we don't get to see too often. It has exhaust for 2 and a red. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So that pairs nicely with the top end Seifer as well, where we could potentially put some instants and sorceries into the grave that way. So we do have all 4 Screaming Nemesis as well, and a couple Slagstorms too. I think Slagstorm will actually be pretty good in here. 23 total mana. One of them is the brand spanking new Lindblum Industrial Regency. It's a land that enters tapped. It taps for red. However, it has an adventure side here. Mage Siege for 2 and a red. Instant speed adventure. Create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty cool, and I think it'll actually be worth the 1 of, even though it might slow us down some games. Okay, some honorable mentions. Thought about Bolt Wave for this list, thought about Fire Magic, and I thought about the brand spanking new Self-Destruct as well, but not this time round. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? I have no idea, but boy, oh boy, do we got a lot of powerful cards packed in. We have a lot of new cards to try out. Very excited to try them. See how they do. I did intentionally avoid mice again this time around. It definitely looks like it should feel like a more classic version of Red Deck Wins. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I took so long to think about it. This is good. This is pretty decent, man. So I'm going to go Swiftspear turn 1 because we can probably give the Greasewrench Goblin haste off the Brynhildr. Well, maybe, right? Okay. Yeah. Just an island over there. Swing with the Swiftspear. We see a Screaming Nemesis off the top, which is pretty darn good, man. All right, they are going to bounce the Swiftspear. Totally fine. So once we put that lore counter on the Brynhildr, we'll have the Screaming Nemesis available, which is kind of incredible, right? That's definitely what we lead into here. All right, moment of truth. We definitely need to go fast. Cool. Yeah, we could always go Greasewrench, gets haste, Swiftspear, then Monstrous Rage, then try Nemesis next turn. But we also have that play. Yeah, I think we just get the Nemesis down right now. But we have some good lines, man. If we would have missed Nemesis off the Brynhildr, maybe just saw like a land or something. Yeah, we would have still had a pretty good lineup. Okay, stock up. All right. All right, we might only have one more turn here. Actually, they don't have Omniscience in the grave yet, so... Goodbye, Brynhildr. Goodbye. But still, next cast a creature spell gains haste. And Lightning Security Regent's pretty good. Man, we have a lot of options here because we could play the other summon to see even more off the top. It's probably Lightning, especially since they don't have Omniscience in the grave, right? That's pretty good. Give it haste, see more off the top, play it for as long as we control Lightning. We don't want to run into a board wipe, but I'm trying to think if Omniscience builds runs 4 mana board wipes. It's mostly temporary lockdown if we see it, right? So we're probably okay to save the Monstrous Rage till next turn as the finisher, and we'll get the Swiftspear down. We do see, ooh, we see the Seifer. Okay. All right, we're seeing all the new cards for the first game, huh? All right, let's see what their 4th mana brings them. It's not another white source. They do go stock up here, so they're in incredible danger then. Even if it's a 1 mana bounce spell, I mean, we just really have it on the board here. Choco-Comet. Okay. I suppose we swing. They're going to bounce. Oh, Omniscience is now in the grave, by the way, guys. Nothing left in hand has haste. The Seifer doesn't have haste. The big problem is wherever we put the Monstrous Rage, that's where they're going to bounce. So we want to wait till the last moment, but the opponent wants to wait till the last moment too. So we could actually start by seeing more off the top, because we could see a second Monstrous Rage, for example. Or another hasty creature. We see a mountain. All right, we might be in danger. We also could have saved Choco-Comet for X's too. Yeah, the bounce is wherever. We're going to go on to Lightning, and that should be it, right? No, that's only... No, that is 8. Okay, good. Whew. All right. All right. Nice. I counted right, then I thought I miscounted. But no. We're good to go. That's 8 damage. They do get the Surveil 2 on the Dispersal here. Thank goodness, man, because that Omniscience just hit the grave. And I'll tell you what, the Omniscience builds have been incredibly consistent. We got a little lucky that they didn't get this in 1 turn sooner, because I bet the Abuelo's Awakening is just chilling, waiting. I will go ahead and pause the recording until the opponent shows up. All right, the opponent ran down the timer, but the damage was going through regardless. Heck yeah, we had fun. I want to view this battlefield real quick because number 1, their Dispersal probably targeted the correct choice here, right? They, wait, where is it? Oh, it bounced back, yeah. Anyways, they targeted Lightning, and if we would have seen more off the top with Lightning, there was a great chance we could have seen Burst Lightning or Lightning Strike or anything like that, right? So I still feel like they made a good choice with the Dispersal. Yeah, if they would have targeted like Nemesis, they might have survived, but also we would have seen more off the top with Lightning too. So you never really know, right? This is where an update where we can actually flip the deck over after the game. Oh, that would be so nice. So we could see like the top cards here and whatnot. We had a really tough decision because, yeah, we thought that wherever the bounce was, it was going to be on to where we put the Monstrous Rage too. So a lot of different things could have happened there. And maybe if they would have waited to bounce the Monstrous Rage target, again, we would have seen stuff off the top from Lightning. So they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. But I'm assuming if we wouldn't have been able to get there with whatever was potentially on top too, then the Abuela's Awakening was going to bring back Omniscience, and they probably would have won next turn. Yeah, it was good stuff, man. Seeing all those new cards, awesome. Yeah. Opponent goes first. I like seeing Slagstorm when the opponent goes first. Slagstorm should be able to clean up some monks. Ooh, it's Golgari, though. Ew. No, I'm just teasing opponent. It might be... Oh, just another mortuary. Might be like Golgari Graveyard, which is actually a pretty scary deck list, man. Something I noticed in that last game, it would have been nice if the summon would have stuck around for one more turn, but it did seem pretty good. Yeah, that's enough mana. The opponent's tapped out. I'm just going to play the summon now. Ooh, it's more mana off the top, too. Okay, that's definitely enough mana. Yeah, up the beanstalk. It's probably Golgari Grave, which is relatively efficient, especially once they actually get some self-mill cards down. Like the up the beanstalk keeps their hand beautifully stocked. Okay, Overlord of the Huntwoods, though. Oh, crap, dude. It's more mana. You know what I'm thinking? We got to trade out some of this mana for the, with the Greasewrench, huh? We could maximize the amount of damage going through with the Monstrous Rage, but... opponent's tapped out? Yeah, I'm just going to do this now. Let's trade out some of this mana. You can easily discard 2 mountains and still have enough for the rest of the game. Alright, that's a little better, huh? The Greasewrench will get haste from the Brynhildr next turn if it doesn't die. And any amount of extra burn should be pretty good. Oh, Deadly Cover-Up. Oh, crap, dude. Okay. Okay. Well, Screaming Nemesis is good. Too bad we don't have a Burst Lightning in hand. I'd feel a little bit more safe. Because Golgari, with what they're doing, if it's not Graveyard, it probably knows how to gain life. I don't really want to dump all the creatures on the board, so I think I'm going to go Nemesis with Monstrous Rage. And again, opponent's tapped out, just doing it all main phase 1, even though we don't necessarily have to. Yeah, it'll be all too easy for them to clean up Nemesis, but pushing 6 damage through while we have it, instead of getting like 2 creatures down to hit a second Deadly Cover-Up. Oh, probably Lightning Strike, but Slagstorm doing a similar thing here, so... where we just want to hit 3 damage to their face. Well, they let us keep the Slagstorm. If they let us keep the Nemesis around too, then we don't have to use bottom ability on Slagstorm. We can potentially use top ability. They do not let us keep the Nemesis around. Okay, we are in danger, but we have a lot of stuff in here to help us clean up this game. Okay, it's another up the beanstalk. They're getting ready. They're setting up for next turn. Okay, they do have an untapped source now, unfortunately. It's going to be another duress. Wow. Okay, that's pretty bad news, huh? Swiftspear is really good. I'm actually going to keep this mountain to trade out to the Greasewrench. We are going to dump the creatures because now we're in so much danger. I mean, we just got wrecked by 2 duress, huh? So we should just establish while we have it, and then keep the mountain to trade out to the Greasewrench when it comes time. Yeah, no, there's no point in playing around the second Deadly Cover-Up now. Now we just have to really, really hope. More burn off the top would be good. More cards that help us see more off the top. Another Brynhildr would be good, right? Lets us establish a creature and see more. Now, if we find more mountains, if we get to keep the Greasewrench around, it's going to be just huge to trade them out, find 2 more. Also, the +1 counter is pretty gross on that too. Tear Asunder on the Greasewrench, guys. Oh no. They still got 2 cards in hand too. And the Overlord powers up, making Monstrous Rage relatively obsolete here. We could still push through. We do have Fountain Port open for 2 mana ability. They don't have any tokens to sacrifice. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're in danger, dude. It would be a good trade, right? It wouldn't be a terrible trade. I'm going to keep the mountain in hand. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. It's actually a pretty tough decision. Because they know the mountain. If we save it for 1 more turn, they could just have more spot removal on top too. We could probably survive a swing from the Overlord, but I could just get more blockers down. Alright, I'm going to try Patience, but I'm not convinced that Patience is what we want here. But there is something to be said about finding some burn off the top, which would kick up the prowess a little bit more too. Maybe we can actually slip one trample damage through, right? If we can slip 1 trample damage through, then maybe, you know, Lightning Strike or something. Like, we're almost there. Oh, Restless Cottage is bad news. They do go for the swing, which means our Swiftspear is probably just in danger. Because I think they would save that as a blocker, or they have another blocker to play for their main phase too. Maybe another Overlord. Duress, dude, get out of my hand. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna play the Monstrous Rage before they can just rip it out of our hand here. They got 1 card remaining. Now our Swiftspear will keep the roll around. We can still get there, guys. It is gonna be another Overlord. They draw 2 and they only have a Fountain Port open. I think by mistake, actually, right? Because auto tapper. Another Monstrous Rage is actually decent, but the rolls do trade out, unfortunately. Crap. With 2 cards in hand, them restocking off the Beanstalk, Restless Cottage being able to power up next turn, they can pop it for food as well. All right, now we're out of this, right? We'd be forced to block with the Swiftspear. So I think we just swing. And they definitely block 110%. And then we still play the Monstrous Rage just to completely play it out at this point, right? So we survived the turn. We're still just going to keep the mountain in hand. Since we have ways to trade it out, I don't think it matters, but sometimes it's good practice. Ooh, another up the Beanstalk too. Yeah, so it keeps us in 1 extra turn. I guess we also could have just done the block with the Swiftspear, but if we would have passed it back, there's a real chance that they would have just removed the Swiftspear and still had the full swing with the Restless Cottage and everything too. Liliana on the top end, so very much just Golgari good stuff, huh? Golgari mid-range. Terrifying business. The triple Duress really picked us apart, I would say. Hey, that's pretty good, man. I like this summon. I feel like there's a lot of instances too where we just won't mind top decking this. Ah, more mana. Oh no. Looks like some removal, and we'll go ahead and let the opponent play this out to you. Good game, opponent. Yeah, it was. It was like we put up 1 heck of a fight versus a lot of spot removal, 3 duress, and a board wipe too. Yeah. Wait, I said a lot of spot removal, but how many of our cards actually got picked up by spot removal? Just 2. And then the Deadly Cover-Up picked up 2 of our creatures. So I guess it just felt like more spot removal than it actually was. The Tear Asunder and the Go for the Throat early on there. Oh yeah, dude. It is feeling like classic red deck wins so far, which is good news. Kind of what I was going for, and it's really cool that we're getting to play with all these new Final Fantasy cards too, and to some success. Let's keep the ball rolling. I think that last one could have gone either way for real. If you've been sleeping on duress, let the last game show you why people are playing with duress, right? That was really, really good for the opponent. Taking out all the extra burn in our hand. Oh, opponent goes first. This is a little bit of a weird one, right? I think we keep this. It would probably be an awkward mulligan. But with the opponent going first, that should be scary. Duress. Haha! Oh, that's really funny. Finally, the duress misses. Ooh. That's what I'm talking about, man. Get the summon for turn 2. See what we see off the top. Alright, Burst Lightning. Probably do it before combat, but I think I'll swing. See if we can eat up some removal. They know we have Nemesis and everything, so if it is spot removal, they'd want cut down. They don't want to waste a go for the throat on the Goblin. It's going to be a Sheoldred's Edict, so we can expect them to have a lot more removal for the Nemesis as well. If their Sheoldred's Edict is landing on a 2-1, you know what I mean? So let's get as many creatures down as possible here. Going to be mountain off the top from the Brynhildr. I like this little guy, man. I like this. Yeah, if they don't want us to play the mountain, they'd want to pop this on their turn, but then they know we have 2 Nemesis in hand. That's a tough decision, probably. Unless it is a 1 mana. Okay, it's going to be Liliana, probably just right into the -2.
Nobody knows.
And then some generic spot removal for Nemesis next turn. That makes sense to me. All right, there we go, Seifer. I really want to see this do the thing today. This might actually be the game that it does the thing in, so. We should pop the Liliana because I don't want to lose anything in hand. And we'll see if it's Liliana number 2. Or it's like I said, they knew we had both Nemesis, so we can only imagine more spot removal here. Duress is going to hit the Burst Lightning, which isn't terrible since we do have Seifer. We do miss the 4th mana, unfortunately. Well, it was exiled from the Brynhildr. Lightning's pretty good. That's pretty good. But just another Nemesis? Nah, I'm going to play new cards. Let's swing with the Nemesis, see what happens. Yeah, Lightning helping us see more off the top can actually help us... Okay, they're going to fizzle out of removal eventually, guys. They only got one... They only got 1 card remaining in hand, so... And we got plenty of creatures, so... Oh my goodness, man. So with the Soulstone Sanctuary too, this is probably mono black demons. So double duress, Sheoldred's Edict, strategic betrayal. They exile our graveyard. Oh my goodness, bro. Okay, still looking for that 4th mana for the Seifer, but now there's nothing in the grave anyways for the Seifer, but it is pretty good. The top ability given double strike or whatever when a creature attacks alone. Blue Claw's Heist. Choco-Comet. Nice. What do they want to take here? They're going to take the Slagstorm. That could be risky. I don't think they take the Seifer because we don't have 4 mana. There's actually... It's not a lot of great options for the opponent here, is They do take our Seifer. No, opponent, how could you? All right, let's get the Greasewrench Goblin down. And we'll have just X is 0 on the Choco-Comet too. We just got to dump creatures on the board for sure. And then next turn, we'll have the Greasewrench to trade out if we want to. It is a good blocker. That does make sense for the... It's a 3/4, right? And based on... like not dying to the Nemesis, but you really don't want to block Nemesis either. tough decisions for the opponent, like on which one to grab. But I think that did make a lot of sense. X is 0. Choose any target. I guess 0 to the opponent. And then get the Greasewrench down too. Yeah, we want to get as many creatures out as possible in case they draw more of their sacrifice abilities or strategic betrayal. They do play the Seifer that they stole from us. And then we do see a Swiftspear that's pretty good. They got great blocks. We just swing with Nemesis. It doesn't seem that great, but we slip the 3 through. They block, we hit, they don't gain life. Slagstorm to each of us. Greasewrench trades out. If we full swing, they block over here, we get 5 through. Still probably the Slagstorm then. Unless, let's full swing. If they block the Chocobo, oh, they're not blocking at all. Yeah, they don't know what's 2 of our cards in hand are, so I think we keep everything. Hopefully we don't. No, we're fine. We're fine. 3 damage to each player, down to 17. They have double strike on the Seifer. And we're going to lose the other Slagstorm to the Seifer ability here, because they're probably going to swing since they don't plan on blocking. So we lose Slagstorm to... oh, they can grab the Heist too. Oh, they're going to go for the throw, actually. Dude, I got to look at the opponent's grave. Oh, no. Oh, no. I was thinking Duress in my head, but yeah, of course they can grab removal. And so Sheoldred's Edict here as well. Oh my goodness, we are in danger, man. Because now they have Soulstone Sanctuary to be able to block. So if we miss mana... Oh, they take our Swiftspear. It don't matter if we find mana, dude. We're in a lot of danger, and this might be my fault for not keeping a blocker for the Seifer. Oh no. We find the 4th mana. That's good. That's good. But the last card in hand, now it has to be removal, because if they power up Sanctuary, it's going to be tapped, guys. So get the bird up to a 3/2. It is going to be removal. Guys, we're out of this. We're out of this, man. So they power up Sanctuary. They swing with Seifer. That's 6 getting through. Then another 3 from the Sanctuary. We're down to 2. If we play Slagstorm now for 3 to each of us, then we die. But also, they can play Cruel Claw's Heist. Steal the Slagstorm, play it on their turn. No, they're powering up the Sanctuary. So we'll still have one more turn. Either way, we can't play Slagstorm or we die here. Dude, Seifer really doing the thing for the opponent. I should have saved that chump blocker for sure, man, for sure. This one potentially just came down to me, but also the opponent is really getting some things lined up. They actually go Duress instead of the Cruel Claw's Heist, which means I might be missing something, honestly. Target opponent reveals their hand. Choose a non-land card from it. Exile that card. If the gift was promised, you may cast that card for as long as this card remains exiled. So I guess they didn't realistically want to gift a card. Well, they do now that our hand is empty. There's just going to be another mountain off the top anyways. Yeah, they didn't power up the Soulstone Sanctuary. Hey, our own Seifer is actually pretty decent, man. But honestly, so now we can block the Seifer, but it's probably just going to be more removal from the opponent just based on everything that's been happening here. All right, let's get the mountain down too. I was going to say we could save the mountain if we see like a Greasewrench Goblin. They do drop the GGs, which means it's probably... Oh, more mana for the second Soulstone Sanctuary. Oh, very nice opponent. Yeah, good game. Wow. All right, we can probably blame me on that one, but I don't really know, right? That's a lot of like, in hindsight, we could have done this, and that, but in reality, how much did we know at the time? Like, what was in their hand at any given moment? I don't know. That's one to actually go back and rewatch, though. Guys, we're 30 minutes in. No. Hey, while I have you here towards the end of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too. If you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Also, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you. All right, let's give it a shot, huh? We'll go turn one Lindblum so it's not holding us up. Honestly, with all the mana we saw in the last, maybe we just keep this as the adventure. Yeah, we could. We'll save it as an adventure for a little while. We'll keep the Burst Lightning open. Dude, more duress? I guess they hit the Comet. It's our only creature in hand. Funny enough, right? Duress hitting a creature in this scenario. Yeah, because if they hit the Comet and we don't see a creature, then the Monstrous Rage is obsolete anyways. We don't have to be patient here with the Burst Lightning in this deck list. We can just smack the opponent's face. All right, I'm going to stick to it. We're going to go ahead and save the Industrial Regency. Because now this is the other creature in hand. It's just a very expensive 0/1. But it still could do the thing. Do we want to pop the Fear of Missing Out? Let's see what they end up discarding here. It's going to be Starting Town, actually. I think we're safe to just smack the opponent's face around. Hey, there's some mana. All right, that's what I'm talking about, dude. That's instant speed, right? It is. Okay. All right. Dude, I really need to see the Seifer do the thing that, like, not on the opponent's board, though. Like, I want to play with Seifer. Okay, they got the swing on the spear. We take it. All right. Let's do this. Nice. Look at our little 0/1. Opponent! Why? Oh, no, guys. Oh, no. All right, now we can get that down tapped. Another Burst Lightning, I guess, isn't terrible. Yeah, maybe we should have mulliganed. I feel like this also would have been a weird mulligan. If they would have missed the duress, then maybe the... No, they probably both would have died, huh? Our little Chocobo friend probably also would have bit the dust. Based on, like, going up against Rakdos or whatever. And so far, only a cut down. Getting to the 5th mana for 2 Burst Lightnings. I guess we can be patient with the Burst Lightnings now. We do find the 5th mana. So, I mean, 4 damage is better than 2. I guess we keep it open. These have been tough games, man. Really tough games. They do swing with the fear, first of all. They know we have the burst and everything, so... They don't know about the second one. Tiny Bones. Hi. Don't see Tiny Bones very often. Alright, we'll go for the kick here. Get them down to 11. We're in danger, dude, but we do have some ways to see a lot off the top. Nemesis is excellent, but unfortunately, the Tiny Bones has Death Touch, so we're probably going to waste a Burst Lightning on the Tiny Bones. We could also let them block with the Tiny Bones and go Monstrous Rage to push a little extra damage through. If they let us. We push the damage through, we do the extra 1 off the Nemesis, make it so they can't gain life, and then just rely on burn the rest of the game, but we've already seen a good chunk of our burn. I mean, we could do both, but we just don't know if Nemesis is going to be picked up by, like, a Go for the Throat, so... We could also... Yeah, we just don't know what's going to happen to the Nemesis is the problem. Let's go to the blocking step, see what they end up doing here. They're going to let the Nemesis through. 3 cards in hand, guys. Do we risk this? If we're in danger either way, I'm pretty sure we risk this. Oh, dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Anoint with Affliction. Yeah, that's not go for the throat, but it's something. We might as well just Burst Lightning while the Nemesis is on the board. Oh, they're not going to double down here, right? Okay. Yeah, this takes the life gain out of the equation. They're at 9. We're in danger, bro, but I mean, they can't gain anything past the 9. Down to 11. Okay, hey, that's what I'm talking about, dude. All right. Yes. Ways to see more off the top. A cut down? No, opponent, why? This is brutal, man. All right, we do see Swiftspear. That's good news. Oh. Okay. Well, the opponent is... Hey, that's my card. All right, they're playing with some new stuff. That was a really good hit off the summon too, because they might as well go wide with creatures. And then they get to play our summon off the Tiny Bones. Wow, we do find mana off the top. Guys, this can't be the last one. Oh, buddy, we're pushing it overtime. We're going one more. I believe in the deck list, man. And I really do like the feel of it. Being more of like that classic red deck win style. Good game opponent if I forgot to drop it. But if we're just going to run into a lot of removal, then I guess technically the deck list is going to continue to struggle. One more. Let's do this. I do believe in the deck list. I really want to get that Seifer down too. Top end 3 of for a good reason. Technically, the deck list is built around it as well. Being able to just like, if you can get that double strike damage through, there's the Seifer, there's 4 mana, opponent goes first. Dude, we have none of our burn in hand. I really hope that this is not the game where we see the Quarry Steelcutter, because this is a dangerous keep versus that. All right, it's just more swamps. So... Ghost Vacuum. Oh no, the Seifer, guys. The Seifer struggling to do the thing today. Ghost Vacuum is going to be really good for them. We'll see how much they actually use it to clean up our instants and sorceries, though. But anything that hits the grave, they're probably going to clean up quite nicely here. Yeah, with 2 mana open, it's not even worth the Monstrous Rage. We'll just go the summon, and we'll see if they pick up the Swiftspear. Maybe we get to actually keep the summon around for a turn. They're going to let the 1 go through and then see if they pick up the Brynhildr here. I guess if they do, we lose whatever it exiles. It is going to be the go for the throat on the Brynhildr, which we should not be surprised about by any means. We're going to lose the other Brynhildr. Oh no. That was good. That was pretty good, man. They're going to pick it up with the Ghost Vacuum. Yeah, that's enough mana for a while. I don't think we need more than 5 mana for the rest of the game. Oh no, it's more mana. Oh no. And then Unstoppable Slasher's a big problem. With the Ghost Vacuum, they'd pick up the Swiftspear. But then, before we actually get to swing with the Seifer, they'll be picking up the Monstrous Rage. Which doesn't really matter. Yeah, no, the double strike, it does matter. It does. Picking up Monstrous Rage off the first hit with the Seifer. Also, double strike really matters versus Death Touch too. Yeah, they'd love this trade. We might as well accept the trade instead of just running into more. Oh, guys, also we could have waited until they blocked. But I'm pretty sure. Oh, wow. Wow, guys. We get the 5 through. I guess we could die here then. They might have the combo in hand. I was so positive that it was going to be the block that I just spammed out the Monstrous Rage instead of waiting till the last moment, which of course you want to wait till the last moment, guys. I'm a very hasty player. I got the good game ready, dude. With keeping the slasher back. All right, it's still going to be big damage, but thank goodness we might actually survive here. With, yeah, Ghost Vacuum easily taking the Monstrous Rage out of the equation. Greasewrench Goblin, that's pretty good. Yeah, 23 mana felt like 26 mana in a lot of these games, and I don't think it's usually going to. I think that's just Magic the Gathering. It's going to happen sometimes. I think I still want 23 because we have a lot of 3-drops and a lot of cards that want us to have 3 on the board. If you miss your 3rd, you're going to be pretty sad in this version of Mono Red, right? So Seifer getting picked up by removal. I mean, there's not a lot else. We keep the Swiftspear as a potential chump blocker here. I think we swing. We get the Seifer down. If they got the removal, they got the removal, right? I mean, it is what it is at that point. Like, if we... Okay, so it is going to be removal for the Swiftspear, so the Seifer might actually survive. It doesn't have double strike on their turn. It's only when we're swinging. So the slasher still might get through, or we might be forced into a block here, depending on what they end up doing. Plus, once we show them the Seifer, they're going to want to hit the Monstrous Rage with the Ghost Vacuum, which they can successfully clean up everything in the grave anyways. They can start with Swiftspear, and then next turn, keep the Ghost Vacuum open for when we target the Monstrous Rage. Oh, no, guys. It is going to be Bloodletter this turn, so we are going to be forced into the block. Wow. I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't Bloodletter last turn, but goodbye, Seifer. Goodbye. We tried, buddy. We tried. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, it is going to be more mana off the top, which does actually mean we can trade out the 2 mountains for the Greasewrench Goblin. And at this point, we don't need to wait for like instant speed nonsense. We could find another 1-drop to play this turn too. It's going to be Lightning Security Sergeant, which is pretty darn good actually, man. So Unstoppable Slasher, they do have a swing in the air for 4, and they still got 3 cards in hand as well. Ow. I guess they'd want to pick up the Seifer when it comes time. It's more mana. Oh, guys. The floods have been pretty bad today, huh? That's 9 total mana in the top 16. Maybe we do. Maybe we do want 22? I'm not convinced, though. I'm not. Also, the Brynhildr must have a huge target on its back. We have not been able to utilize the haste from the last 2 abilities on this summon because it simply just isn't sticking around on the board. It does make sense that it has a huge target on its back since it's letting us see extra off the top, right? They got 4 coming through in the air next turn. I mean, technically, we're not dead yet, but against Mono Black Demons, there's a lot of stuff that could finish us off here. If they have removal, oh, they want to pop the Goblin over the Lightning, which means it's probably even more removal, right? I guess they just didn't want to give us an option, or they wanted to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, right? Unholy Annex does do us in either way, guys. Wow, the opponent saw things in a really weird order there, huh? Yeah, they could have curved out much better with the Unholy Annex and everything, or just a Bloodletter a turn sooner too. So there's a possibility that both the opponent and I could have drawn even better, and I think it still would have been leaning towards the opponent, which does say something, unfortunately, guys, right? So I mean, and that's a lot of what we saw today. It was deck list was just a lot of spot removal, and that's what you're going to see very often in the current meta, thanks to, is it Quarry Steelcutter being so prominent, right? And other just mono red builds too, other mice builds. A lot of people are just forced to play with spot removal, which is completely detrimental to other creature deck lists that are trying to do fun things, which is what this deck list is trying to do. Number 1. I really like the new cards. I wish we could have seen Seifer do something for us, but what we did see was Seifer do something for the opponent, and it did it really, really well to the point where it just literally won them the game. But at that point too, it would have just been, we can just say Cruel Claw's Heist won them the game, right? So, yeah. Yeah, and then it's too bad it doesn't have double strike when it blocks too. Like if this said or blocks alone, oh man, maybe we'd be in that last one, but it doesn't say that, unfortunately. Then the bottom ability should be absolutely ridiculous if you can pull it off, but apparently it's going to be very difficult to pull off. I could see 2 of these in here easily, right? And we just want to go up even more burn, maybe, right? Oh, first of all, guys, put it on the do not craft list. Not only did it not perform well today, I think that it probably will continue to struggle, especially if those are the deck lists we're going to see. But more importantly, guys, first day of set release. So no one knows where the meta is going to settle. So save your wild cards for a couple weeks at least, if you care about your wild cards, right? If you don't care, I guess go for whatever, but don't go for this one. Save your wild cards on this one, even though it feels like it's gonna perform like a classic red deck wins. Classic might be the problem, right? Instead of like hyper aggressive, we're opting for more sustainability and a little bit more burn too. And there are going to be some deck lists that you fight against that actually that's great news that you have sustainability and stuff and extra burn. But a lot of the times too, if the opponent is just completely obliterating you turn after turn, every creature you play, they play something that removes that creature until they can finally hit you for that 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 on a deadly cover-up or a Sunfall or something too. We didn't even see Sunfall style deck list today, did we? So Sunfall style deck lists, guys, would also completely obliterate this deck's early game, especially when you're establishing all those extra creatures. There's so many neat things packed in, though. Real quick, guys. Lightning Security Sergeant, the menace and everything, deals combat damage to that player, exile the top card. You may play it for as long as you control lightning. This is one of those cards, man. I'm going to keep my eye on it for sure, and I am going to play it in other builds just to see if we can actually pull off a little bit more. But number 1, Menace with Monstrous Rage in the deck list should actually be pretty darn devastating. Now, how often is the opponent going to double block lightning when you have open mana? See, the opponents know that Monstrous Rage exists, so you're probably just getting the 2 through, but that's also good news because then you get to see more off the top, find a Lightning Strike or something, be very happy about it. Even if you find a Choco-Comet, X is 0 on the Comet should, in theory, be pretty decent, and when you're in mono red, the double red doesn't really affect you, right? So I do like the 1 Industrial Regency, and as a matter of fact, we can kind of say, hey, we do have 22 mana in here because the 23rd mana is actually an adventure that's 3 mana, which is still pretty expensive too, right? So we flooded a bit today. We saw some really rough games against some opponents that really just had it going. There was that one game with the triple duress picking apart all of our burn. There were a few games where we got the opponents down far enough to the point where if we just would have seen a little bit more burn, then we could have gotten there, but we just saw mana off the top instead. So there's a lot to be said here, guys, for real. If we played another 5 games, there's a real possibility we'd win like 4 out of the 5. But am I confident that we would win 4 out of 5? No. Not at all, bro. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm on the fence, guys. Let me know in the comments. What would you add or take out? Do you think that this deck list deserved getting obliterated like it got today? I'm not convinced. And plus, dude, we got so many powerful creatures packed in too. They all really did the thing. Powerful cards in general, powerful burn. Keeping an eye on this summon too. I mean, the Rakdos deck list had this summon packed in. And I'd say for good reason. I don't know like where the summon belongs, but I feel like this belongs somewhere, right? We might be able to find a lot of other lists to pack this into. And I'll say this, when I crafted this summon, I was glad to craft it because there's so many places where I want to try this. And in the matches today, that only backed up that only backed up my craft, right? So yeah, this was a worthwhile craft for me, especially since I'm a red player. But we'll see. We'll see where it ends up going, right? Choco-Comet's going to be cool to try out in Big Red too, because that's actually a deck list that knows how to ramp. But then also, if you just need something early on, I feel like there are going to be moments where you spend 5 mana on the Choco-Comet and you're just not mad about that, right? 3 damage to any target. So you can even just smack the opponent's face around for 3 damage and still get a birdie. Now, sorcery speed slows it down a little bit, but you can't complain too much about that, right? I don't know. I like this. I like all the new cards, actually. There's so many cool, really cool red cards to try out in here. We're going to have to return to poor Seifer, man. We're going to have to return maybe an multicolored deck list too, maybe one that actually knows how to self-mill as well. The concept here where you're just like burning the opponent's life total anyways, or using your burn on aggressive creatures. So your graveyard is getting stocked up, ready to recast the burn when you actually get the Seifer out. And then whenever, like, what's cool about the Seifer too is when you're curving into it off of like Screaming Nemesis, it doesn't say like, well, let me just actually read the top ability again, right? at the risk of sounding like a broken record, whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. So you can still curve into the Seifer and still get a benefit out of the Seifer, because you can still give double strike to like Screaming Nemesis or any other creature that you still had on the board. Maybe you had Greasewrench Goblin. Turn 1, turn 3, you exhaust the Greasewrench Goblin. It's a 3/2, right? You get some good trading out, get some maybe instants and sorceries in the grave. On that turn 4, if you curve into the Seifer, you can still give the 3/2 double strike, which is kind of no joke, right? Or if you were already established and you actually were able to give haste on the Seifer off of like a Brynhildr, oh my goodness, dude, we got some lines in here, man. I feel like we didn't showcase the deck very well. Oh no, we showcased the opponent's deck lists more. Actually, guys, the problem with the haste on the summon is, number one, it has to stick around. So maybe we want even more ways to give haste in here too. That could be pretty cool. More ways to give haste to lightning could be really good, and more ways to give haste to the Seifer too. So yeah. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? Definitely let me know in the comments what you thought of this one and if you think it deserved all those losses. And then what would you add or take out too? Because we're definitely going to be revisiting mono red aggro or red deck wins. As a matter of fact, at some point I have to stop avoiding the mice, right? And we'll have to revisit mice, but pack some new cards in there too and see how that does. All right, guys. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.